So you're preparing for a government job, right? And you open up one of those official notifications, and it's just this huge, confusing document that makes your head spin. Happens to the best of us. But don't you worry, welcome to my channel, Mehun Ayushi Agarwal. I mean, we all know how dense and complicated those official PDFs can be. It feels like you need a special decoder ring just to understand them. And you know, one tiny mistake, one missed detail, and all that hard work can just go down the drain. So today, in this masterclass, we are going to master the art of analyzing these notifications. The goal is simple, to make sure you never, ever miss a critical detail again.
All right, so let's get started on this decoding mission. Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll start with the basics of the notification, then dive deep into eligibility, job profile, and salary, those tricky rules and exam traps, how to actually apply, and finally, we'll wrap up with the key takeaways. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so to make this super practical, we're going to use a real-life example. We'll be dissecting the official notice for the Staff Selection Commission's, that's SSC's, Young Professional IT post. But here's the most important part. The skills you learn today, you can apply them to any government notification. That's the real goal here.
Now, before you even think about filling out any form, the first and honestly the most crucial section you need to look at is eligibility. Think of it as the first gatekeeper. If you don't clear this, nothing else matters. So we're going to break it down into three simple parts: education, experience, and of course, age.
You know, I always say this, trust the original source. And to prove it, look at this. We're not just talking about it, we are directly analyzing point 3 from the official notification itself. This is super important because it maintains authenticity and you know exactly where the information is coming from. No rumors, just facts.
Okay, first up, educational qualifications. For this specific post, you need to have one of these 4 degrees. Simple enough, right? But wait. अब देखिए, यहाँ SSC trap लगाता है. This is how they'll frame an MCQ in the exam. They'll ask something like, which of the following qualifications is not eligible for the SSC YP IT post? And the options will be, say, B.Tech in IT, BCA, B.Sc in CS, and then they'll throw in something like B.Com. What's the right answer? Exactly, it's B.Com. They use these similar sounding options to confuse you, so you have to be super careful.
All right, next up is experience. The notice clearly says you need 1 year of essential experience. Now, let's focus on that keyword, essential. What does that even mean? It means it's absolutely mandatory. It's a non-negotiable requirement. Without it, you simply cannot apply. It's not desirable, which would mean it's good to have but not required. No, this is essential. So a minimum of 1 year's experience in a relevant field like programming or networking is a must.
And finally, for eligibility, let's talk about the age limit. According to point 3.2 in the notice, you need to be between 21 and 35 years old. But here's the key detail. This age is counted at the time of initial engagement. That's a very specific phrase. So when you're filling out the form, make sure you double-check your age against their criteria. It's a small detail that can make a big difference. Okay, so once you've figured out that you're eligible, the next 2 questions on every aspirant's mind are pretty obvious, right? What will I actually have to do in this job? And of course, how much will I get paid? So let's decode that part now.
This gives you a really clear picture of the day-to-day job. You'll be handling official communications both in English and Hindi. You'll be working with large amounts of data using tools like Excel, SQL, and even Java. Plus, you'll be preparing documents, letters, and presentations, and managing files and backups. So basically, it's a full-fledged IT professional role.
All right, let's talk money. As per point 3.3, the initial remuneration is a fixed 40,000 rupees per month. Now notice the word they use is consolidated. That's a very important term, and we'll talk more about what exactly that means in just a bit.
And hey, there's even some potential for growth here. If your performance is good and the contract gets extended for a second year, you could see up to a 5% increment. So let's do the math. 5% of 40,000 is 2,000 rupees. That means your salary in the second year could go up to 42,000 rupees per month. Not bad.
Okay, time for a thinking question. I want you to pause for a second and really think about this, and then let me know in the comments. If this post were a permanent government job instead of a temporary one, what kind of differences would you expect to see in the salary structure and all the allowances? What would change? Drop your thoughts below. All right, now we're moving on to what I think is the most critical section of any notification. This is where most students make mistakes. We're talking about the fine print, the terms and conditions. This is where all the hidden rules and those sneaky exam traps are buried. Just take a look at this line from point 11. The keyword to notice here is temporary nature. This one word tells you so much. It means this is not a permanent job, it's a contract-based position, initially for just 1 year. And that single keyword affects everything, your allowances, your job security, the whole deal. And trust me, this question about the nature of the post, ye question repeat hota hai.
And the biggest implication of this post being temporary is laid out in point 13. And listen closely, because yahan SSC trap lagata hai. Because this is a temporary, consolidated pay post, you will not get any extra allowances. No conveyance allowance, no dearness allowance or DA, no residential accommodation, no medical facility, nothing. So in an exam, they'll ask, which of the following allowances is provided, and the list DA, HRA, etc. The answer is none of them. You only get that consolidated 40,000 rupees. That's it.
Okay, let's quickly run through a few other important rules you should know. First, this is a full-time engagement, which means you can't take up any other job alongside it. For leave, you get 1.5 days per month, but you can't carry it forward. One good thing is that if you go on an official tour, you will get TA/DA for that. And yes, a police verification is mandatory before joining. All right, now that we've understood all the details of the job, let's get to the final, most practical step. How do you actually apply for it? First things first, the deadline. And you need to pay close attention here. Point 18 says you have to apply within just 10 days of the advertisement being published. That is a very, very short window. It means you have to be super active and ready to go as soon as a notification drops.
Now look carefully at the application mode. This is not an online portal where you fill out a form. The application format is actually attached with the notification PDF. You have to fill that out, attach self-attested copies of your documents, and then email the whole package to this specific email address. astscnr-admin@ssc.nic.in. Don't go searching for a website link.
So, what happens after you apply? The selection process is a two-stage affair. First, a committee will scrutinize all the applications they receive. Then, from that pool, they will shortlist candidates who will be called for an interview. And that's it. Notice what's missing? There is no written exam for this particular post. So there you have it. We've completely dissected a real notification from start to finish. But remember, the main goal today wasn't just to understand this one notice. It was to build a skill. So let's summarize everything we've learned into a powerful checklist.
This is your master checklist. From now on, whenever you pick up any notification, just run through these 5 points. 1. Always check eligibility first. That's education, age, and experience. 2. Understand the nature of the post. Is it temporary or permanent? 3. Read the terms and conditions carefully for all the hidden rules and allowances. 4. Note the application deadline in the mode of application. And 5. Try to identify those keywords that could be turned into exam questions. Today, we really broke down some of the most important parts of a notification, like eligibility, salary, those tricky allowances, and the application process. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments which part of an official notification do you personally find the most confusing. Let me know. Hey, if you found this deep dive helpful, please do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with your friends, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For all the important PDFs and regular updates, make sure you join our Telegram channel as well.
Thank you